They claim they want beef like I ain't in a teed up. I turn them to vegan. I'm really a creature. She sent me to be.
Hey guys, Zach here, Ray Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there today. And I am not alone. As you can see, I'm joined by the great KruYsen. KruYsen, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? It's a pleasure to be here again and to talk about something really special.
Yeah, pleasure is all mine, man. I saw that you did an amazing video on Mercurial, so I wanted to recycle your content respectively and bring you on today to talk about it a little bit on my channel. I will also include that video that folks should definitely go ahead and watch from your channel as well. But you're one of the greatest minds in the game, man, and I love, even selfishly, really dissecting your knowledge and your understanding of Raid and the meta and the trends. No one's more on top of it than you. You run like multiple top 10 accounts at times in Raid, so love to have you on. I want to talk about Mercurial sets, man. I want to talk about how good is Mercurial gear. I think it's really good. I'm sure that you do as well, but I also want to talk about what type of champions should folks out there be looking at for a 4-piece or a 9-piece, maybe what unorthodox type of champions, what damage dealers. And I also want to talk about what does this mean, especially as more folks get their hands on 9-piece Mercurial, what is going to be the good counterplay options for folks out there that they should consider, you know, maybe stocking up on right now, because it's going to be probably everywhere, or close to total guard, that is. So man, I just threw a lot at you. Let's start by talking about the set itself. How does it compare to, in your opinion, right now, to Stone Skin, to more traditional builds?
Well, Stone Skin, when it was launched, it was everywhere, and it's still everywhere because the amount of utility that it brings is amazing. It's a set that gives you survivability, so you're able to make your play most of the time because of the set effect. But at the same time, the base stats that they give are very specific to a few champions. So we take advantage of a lot of advantage of the effect of the set, but not that much advantage of the stats that the set gives. The Mercurial came in a way that he does exactly the same thing. He protects you, allows you to play, but at the same time, the stats that we get from the set are a lot useful because its speed is in the mix, and it renews itself. So it's more fitting to the meta than Stone Skin is. If you have the 9 pieces, for example, you're going to renew it a lot every turn that you have. So that's really good. Even more for a set that brings the speed. If you're able to bring fast champions with this set, it's really important because the rotation of the champion is going to renew the set itself.
That's so true.
It is a combo between the effect and the stats that we didn't have on the Stone Skin. And there's a second thing. We are in a meta that we need to do a lot of actions. The battles are longer. The battles doesn't finish in one move most of the time. Okay, it can finish, bomb champions, poison champions, but most of the time it takes more than one turn, more than a single turn of each champion for the battles to end. And the Stone Skin had that thing, and all other sets that are not stacks had this thing. You waste your buff when you have your turn. The total guard is in a different level,
right?
Like, yeah, because for example, you can pick a mythical, have total guard in it, 4 pieces, 6 pieces, 9 pieces. You transform, you get your next turn, and you don't lose it.
Yeah,
this is something that totally changes the game. So right now, this set is way above all the sets in utility, and we need to call it is the strongest set in the game, and it's going to be a pain for the next months.
32, what is it? 32, 10, 24th. Yeah, 32% speed you get off this bad boy. To your point, that's incredible. That's in line with protection, but with a totally different, you know, ability set to it. All right, there's so many threads I want to pull there. First of all, do you have any 9-piece? I'm sure you do. Who are you currently running Mercurial on your account? Any of your accounts? I don't care.
I only have gear, very poor gear. I had extremely unlucky. My best pieces are double rolls and 5-star. It is what it is. I have 1 nuker and 1 support build in it.
Okay.
The support is Yuvi, the new dwarf.
Yep.
Because I think she's phenomenal. I think she's one of the top 5 supports in the game. And with this set, she's there solid on the top 5. You know, I cannot not have this set on her because the utility it brings everything that she needs and brings more. Because this champion is able to make you survive a lot, and this set is going to address that, making you survive even more. She's like a safe point to your entire team, and she has utility offensive wise and defensive wise. Amazing champion to have this set, and these kind of champions are the best to have this set. That's the first thing that I need to say. This set, it's good in all the supports of the game. If you have 6 or 9 pieces, even more, in all supports of the game, it is a meta set. Oh, I don't know if it is good for this champion, this other champion. If it is a support, it is good. It is good for it, undoubtedly.
So, rule of thumb, is it a support? Yes, it's a good set for them. Okay, real quick, the viewers can see. Actually, you can see. Should I do it? I mean, golly, you're begging for it, bro. You're begging for it. All right, boom! There she is. There she is. All right, cool.
Really
I don't have the Mercurial gear. I only have it in the Sacred Order, and I think I have it like 2 factions, a 9-piece. I'm getting so unlucky right now at the time of this recording, at least. But I have it in Sacred Order, so I've been like, I run my Siegfried. I just released a video yesterday on Siegfried in 9-piece. It's so busted, but before I get ahead of myself, because I want to talk about damage dealers and stuff like that and other champions and kind of continue to pull on that support thread that you mentioned. But I wanted to start by the first thing you said, which was my Mercurial gear sucks. So I'm sure everybody says that right now because we've only had a couple rotations of Grim Forest. How big of a stat threshold would you be comfortable sacrificing in order to get a 9-piece Mercurial set on a champion? You know, because obviously your gear's not going to be the same caliber as something else. So like, where is that threshold lie for folks out there watching the video?
It's basically the stats that matters for the champion. For example, if your line of speed is going to go down, and probably it will, if it's not something like, oh, I lost 100 speed, it is something that is still worth it. For example, your champion was 320 speed, and now he's 300, 290. Okay, it's okay. If this champion secondary thing that you want, it's accuracy or resistance, and your base accuracy or base resistance didn't drop to a level that these skills won't make any effect anymore, you should keep it. For example, you have 500 accuracy on your champion and it drop it to 200, probably you're not going to
work,
be able to use your skills to debuff your enemy. Or
so in other words, as long as the core utility of the champion isn't impacted, so they can't land their debuffs or whatever, they can't get a crit rate, 100% crit rate on your damage dealer, then make the sacrifice and switch over.
Yeah, that's more for supports. For damage dealers, it's harder.
Yeah, okay.
It's harder because if you're going for a full set 9 pieces, you're going to drop the decreased defense or ignore defense things on the champion. And for the mage dealers, that's everything. You know, a damage dealer that's not able to do damage is useless most of the time.
Well, let's stay with supports for a moment. So with supports, the rule of thumb is as long as they're getting the accuracy or the whatever the stats you need, then make the swap. What about a champion that already excels in one specific build, right? Like a Siphi and a 9-piece protection, for example. Would you still make that sacrifice, or would you reserve your gear for champions that don't have a super obvious build, like a 9-piece protect? Yeah.
On Siphi specifically, not. There are some champions that I reserve the right to keep them on the set that they are or they should be.
Yes.
Because even on 9 pieces of Mercurial, the performance won't be equivalent or not worth you spend the set right now because he's a limited set. We only have 1 rotation per month.
True. Yep.
So the amount of pieces are limited. We are not going to be able
we can't just exchange energy for gear.
Yeah. So we won't have many people built in that set. Like everybody, we have half of the champions built for Arena, for example, in Stone Skin. We won't be able to do that in Mercurial for some time. You know, we're going to slow farm it. So it is really important to use this set in someone that we take more advantage of the effects of it. So I have a 9 pieces for Undead. Should I use it on my Siphi? No. Siphi plays a really good role with 9 protection or full speed. You don't need to waste the pieces that are rare for you at the moment on these specific champion that already has a good performance.
Already working,
You should work in a champion that the performance is going to be better, or the champion that was out of the way of your picks to make him a viable pick. And that's, I think, is the most incredible thing the Mercurial brings.
This is probably obvious advice to everybody out there, but like even this crappy piece, this crappy helmet that I just
should
got,
keep it.
I'm still rolling it up. I'm still reworking that bad boy, you know? In getting your ore, I feel like it's using your chaos. Well, that was great, but using your chaos ore, I feel like on your Mercurial set, and this is why it's so important to farm normal, even if you're an end game player that can easily clear hard. You can still get some decent pieces. Like it didn't work out here, but it could have been a double speed, whatever the heck, you know? So I think it's really important to use your chaos ores on the Mercurial set. Are you saving all your ores for Mercurial on your account? Or like,
Most of the time.
most of the time, some ferro or some stone skin or whatever, you know, here and there.
Yeah. Usually my
Merciless.
gear, my chaos ore goes to speed because it's the set that's most relevant to me right now. So usually the pieces of speed is what receives 90% of my chaos ore. But right now, only 30% goes to speed. All the other 70, I keep them. But
Yep.
when I get an opportunity to use it on Mercurial, to use it on Mercurial, because the Mercurial relevance right now is the top 4 thing. Is the thing that you need to chase is the Mercurial.
Let me ask you this. We talked a lot about 9-piece viability. Let's talk about 4. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about anything in between. How do you feel about, because 9-piece, it's obvious. First of all, the 3 stacks matters a ton because you might not go first. You might need them all. And the extra stack, I mean, to me, it's such a huge bonus at 9. Whereas at 6 and 4, you just don't get that same yield. However, you do get the speed, good stats, and stuff like that. So talk to me a little bit about when, if ever, would you go with a 4 or even a 6-piece set?
I think the 6-piece is something that we're barely going to use.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we're going to stay between the 4 or the 9. Because if the champion only needs to survive or to endure something once, you're going for 4 pieces. Even more the champions that cannot afford to lose something, new curse or a very fast champion, something like that. You cannot afford to lose a lot of stats. So probably you're going to keep the 4 pieces just to nullify something that's thrown upon you. And since it's really easy to remove the total guard, it is not the safest set if you have 4 pieces or 6 pieces. The 9 pieces is a totally different thing because 3 hits it's a lot.
Yeah.
And the skill or the chance to replace the stack, it's really, really, really impactful, and it's what matters the most.
Yep.
To be fair, not the 3 stacks, starting with 3 stacks, but to replace the stack, it is incredibly powerful, and makes a lot of champions go into the meta. For example, the 4 stacks can nullify a lot of the strategies that we have right now for very fast teams. You know, to start with Gizmo and put HP burn on everybody and break the Stone Skin.
Yep.
To start a team, to buff Commodus and bomb everybody.
Yep.
4 pieces is enough to nullify that kind of thing already. Because the stack's not consumed when people attempt to put the debuff on you. It's consumed by the hit. Gizmo puts the HP burn without hitting. It's not going to consume your stack, but it's going to nullify the effect of the HP burn.
It's really
The same
insane.
with Armand's polymorph. They're going to try to polymorph you. It's not going to work.
I remember the first time I tried that, KruYsen, I was like, dude, there's a bug. There's a bug, you know, because I'm looking at my stacks not going down. I'm like, oh, my word. No, this is as intended? Okay. That's wild. So you're saying that 6-piece, forget about it. 4-piece, maybe consider in combination with Stone Skin or something like that, maybe, right? That way you can block the burns. Yep.
Probably not.
Okay.
If you're using Stone Skin and Mercurial, most of the time you're wasting a little bit the Mercurial. Yes, you can prevent something like bombs or HP burn, but it's something that you already can with Pharaoh and Stone Skin, and you're going to have a lot higher stats because you're farming that for a longer period.
True.
Of time.
Yep. So what are you combining it with?
Yeah, usually you're going to combine with more extreme things. If you need speed on the champion, you're going to combine Total Guard with speed sets or protection sets to get more speed. If you need damage, you're going to put Savage or Lethal and the Total Guard, 4 pieces of Mercurial. So usually you're going to combine the set with something that's useful to the champion or to the strategy. To put it alongside with another defensive set works, but usually you're going to waste a lot the potentials that you could have, or you're going to lose a lot of stats doing it. So I don't think it's the optimized way to do that, to put Stone Skin and Mercurial, but it works. I'm not going to say that it doesn't work. It works, but I think it's a waste in general.
Fair. What about chronophage? Do you like a 4-piece chronophage with a 4-piece Mercurial?
Actually, it's a combo because it's going to prevent you to receive the only thing that counters the total guard, that is the skill locking. But at the same time, a little bit of testing. For example, champions like KruYsen counters the chronophage because KruYsen remove the chronophage before she lands the
That
skill
is
locking.
lame. That's the opposite of the thing I was just talking about with Mercurial, right? Where you're like, that shouldn't happen, but it's like, what the heck, man? Like,
Yeah.
you know?
If the hit of the skill of KruYsen remove the total guard,
Yep.
and then the secondary part of the skill remove the chronophage and she locks you, it is going to be a total waste of the 2 sets
Indeed.
with 1
Indeed.
skill. So this needs a little bit of testing. This is something I didn't test yet because I didn't saw nobody using
Yep. Okay.
this combo yet, but
All right.
something that we need to test to see if it works. It's the same for Warlord and other champions that does this
Okay.
kind of thing.
Let's talk about damage dealers, and then let's talk about how to counter it and how the meta is going to shift, so people can prepare. What I was looking for with the Siegfried, right? Siegfried's a very unique case because if he's the last man standing, he can turn into a reviver, and he's kind of easy to be the last man standing if you've got total guard on a 9-piece with, you know, as much protection as you can build in, plus his passive, right? So, but it does strike me that, like, you know, even like I don't know, a Cheshire Cat, for example, right? A champion that has built-in survivability already can be really annoying with a total guard in addition to the failsafe they already have in their kit. Do you agree with that? And also beyond that, what other indicators are you looking for a damage dealer in a 9-piece Mercurial?
There are 3 kinds of damage dealers that fits a lot the Mercurial. Let's say fits the 9 pieces because it's the hardest thing. 4 pieces fits on everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to maintain the Savage and you're going just to switch the survivability set or the extra stat set.
I'm going to be a jerk, though, and interrupt you and say, like, given your druthers, what is the decisive factor between a 4-piece? Let's just say you're going to go Savage either way. What is the between Stone Skin and Mercurial? What is your calculus in deciding?
Usually, it's how fast the champion is going to be able to play.
Understood.
Because
that makes sense.
it's really easy to remove the total guard, and it's not really easy to remove the Stone Skin.
Okay.
So the total guard needs, for example, if you're facing a Fabian, your nuker has total guard, and the Fabian strikes him with the A3 to lock your skills. At the same time, he's going to remove your total guard. So the protection that you think you had basically failed for the fastest champion of the enemy team. You know, so that's something that we don't want to happen. So if you're playing a champion with total guard 4 pieces, usually this champion needs a higher level of speed than normally champions go. You should not go for goal second team having entrusting your defensive parameters to 4 pieces of total guard.
Okay.
Because that's not going to work. They are going to easily remove and easily counter everything. Usually the 4 pieces are for faster teams that you think you're going to play before or to counter specific teams. You have a team to prepare yourself to face HP burn, poisons, and bombs. Okay, this champion can have 4 pieces because this is the setup that you're going to prepare to absorb. But usually it is for fast teams that you're going to use 4 pieces. Differently from 4 pieces of Stone Skin that you can hold your speed back because the set's going to be there, holding the damage, holding some debuffs. The total guard is not going to be that way.
Okay.
It is easy to remove. Indeed, it's a crazy strong buff, but it's easy to remove. So if you don't have speed on your champions, 4 pieces is not going to save you from much. It is going to be gone with the wind, and you're going to be totally vulnerable.
Okay. That makes all the sense in the world. Okay, sorry for interrupting, but I had to ask. Go back to your points. You're looking for what are you looking for from damage? Yeah.
There are 3 kinds of nukers that is important to make the difference. First is the utility nukers. That kind of champion, all of them are perfect with 9 pieces of Mercurial. What are these champion? Bombers, Commodus, Nishrak, Chazar, all these kind of bombers fits perfect the 9 pieces of Mercurial. It's like amazing for that. Gives a lot to them. You can swap your wand or something that you used as relic because you're not going to get polymorphed.
Yep.
You don't need inferior the wand or the reflect of something that you do. usually brings your speed level up because the set gives you speed. It's replaceable. It's going to give you some defensive measures and a lot with the 9 pieces, with the 3 stacks and the replacement of the 1 stack. So it is incredible. So bombers, poisoners, Kavlaks, Azu is a phenomenal champion to use this set. All the poisoners now I think is the top core.
Yep.
Right? All these kind of special nukers that doesn't need to ignore the defense to do some kind of damage, are perfect fitting for 9 pieces.
Okay.
These are the top of meta. HP burners to Gizmok, Vulcanus, all these champions that deliver debuffs to kill the enemy are perfect fitting. So this is the first line of perfection to the set. The
Makes
second
sense.
one, it is the champions that already have ignore defense on their kits. These champions doesn't need ignore defense set to do a high damage. They are able to do a high damage. They will do incredible amount of damage if they have Savage, Lethal, Merciless, all the other sets that ignore defense. Like say Rotus A3, Sigfrun's A3. Many other champions are introduced to the meta because they can do ignore defense. So you can work with the 9 pieces of Mercurial to give you the champion the survivability that he might not have. At the same time, you can work with the relic plus the skill standard effect. For example, relics that give ignore defense, Lens of Intangibility, the Cat's Gaze, the Dread Bomb, all of these sets, all of these relics alongside the 9 pieces of Mercurial makes a champion that already ignore defense to be extremely powerful. He will have the defensive side that he might not have on his kit, or he might have and be even better. And he also is going to have the offensive side. So the champion that is a nuker are going to be able to nuke and defend himself. So it's the perfect combination. There is a lot of champions that are going to return to the meta or be introduced to the meta because of that. And I cannot point some of them to you.
Please.
Kurosa, for example, is a champion that nobody plays.
You've always been a fan of Kurosa, though.
Yeah, but she's a champion that most of the players doesn't know how good she is.
Yeah.
And with 9 pieces of Mercurial, everything on her shines. Because her first form, that is a defensive form, is going to have a lot of utility. She's going to be able to land her buffs and debuffs and her cleans, her healing, everything. All right, and she's going to be safe. At the same time, she's going to be able to swap to the second form to keep the stacks or even replace the stacks if it is 9 pieces. And she's going to be able to use her skill freely because this champion has an amazing kit, but she suffers a lot because you want the damage from her. So you use damage things on her. And she debuffs the enemy for doing her moves. And she does that before playing. That is amazing, but at the same time, it's the counter to her.
Yep.
Because if you put fear on your enemy and you get the fear back to you, you might lose your turn.
Yep.
If you debuff your enemy and you polymorph before your damage, you lose your turn too. So she's going to be immune to all of that, and she has ignore defense, steel buffs, everything on her kit. The champion moved from the B tier, C tier of good champion to SS tier. Kurosa is an extreme example of a champion that
I love that, man. I love that because like people hate on her so much, you know. But you're right. I think you're totally right on that, you know. And I think a lot of people will be excited if they were disappointed and summoned her. they'll like what you're saying right now, you know.
Yeah.
What other types of champions like what other previous meta champions, not to put you on the spot, but do you see having some potential now in the or who fell out of the meta? Do you see having
the strongest champion to use Mercurial right now? It is Odin. Odin fell out of the meta because he was put aside because of the ones out there were countering him so much. But 9 pieces of Mercurial on an Odin.
Yep.
Sorry guys to review that, but
yeah,
it is going to make you win 70% of your fights alone.
It's
because
really busted. Yeah.
The utility this champion
think
has
about
with low amount of stats, and the passive goes there, putting the block buffs and replacing. Put a Saraf on him, Put 9 pieces of Mercurial, and you're going to see him. Your whole team dies. He survives. He kills someone. Your team get back, and the people try to kill him. The block damage and the stack of Total Guard keep not
Oh my
allowing.
word. Yep.
He is a total pain. A total pain. He is the perfect champion to use 9 pieces of Mercurial. Your first 9 pieces of Mercurial should be on which champion? Undoubtedly, Odin. Best champion to have it.
Should be the first champion that you can get the 9-piece in that faction for. But I hear you. That it makes all the sense in the world, though. You're right, especially with that passive too, man. So let's talk about counters, man. How do we get around? Unless you have any other champion shoutouts, how do we get around 9-piece Mercurial? The most obvious thing I would say is that multi-hitters are great because they can get the stacks down. Is there anything beyond that to deal with Mercurial gear?
Yeah, we might now see a different kind of starters, because usually our starters are speed boosters and or skill lockers in the case of Fabian or KruYsen, but now we might, or Yumeko, now we might see another kind of starters, the champion that holds your fastest gear. It is going to promote multi-hitters as with utility as your main speed champions. Let's say Marius, hell of a support, hell of a champion. We might see now support Marius. Marius that has your fastest gear, maybe a relic that adds something. He can be hybrid if you have a lot of stats, but most of the players won't. So we're going to use him to be a fastest champion to start the match.
Get rid of all the stacks.
Everybody, try to land something. For example, if you have a Stormcaller on him, he can remove and land a stun on someone or something like that.
Yeah, there's not that many champions that have AoE triple hitters.
No, that's very hard.
Does
rare.
a Countess Lix have it? I'm trying to think of off the top of my head,
Yeah, and that's bring the second thing that is going to probably the most meta thing to counter hit. Fly attack. We're going to see champions that were cast aside by something to come back because of the set plus because of the kit. Mikage, that was mainly used as a PvE champion for the moment, but she has a lot of utility on PvP. And this kit of this champion hits on everything, ally attack on 2 skills, hits with debuffs. Amazing champion to face this set. Amazing, with a lot of utility. And the set used on her also brings her to the meta, because the polymorph that avoided her to be really strong is now countered by that, and you can use another kind of relics on her, speed relics to make her faster or anything else, even the Priesthood Shadow. It is really interesting of a champion to make work. The other champions that can do a lot with that, Osgurum, I think he's the strongest counter to the set.
Yeah, right.
In a champion. He's a dwarf, a new champion. Not many players know his kit.
He's so good though.
He's a totally counter with a lot. I already love the champion.
Yeah.
I already love the champion, even without the Mercurial. But with the Mercurial in game, he is a counter to the set. And a very heavy counter to the set. Because of the utility, the ally attack plus the buff removal plus all the utility of the kit. It is amazing. It is amazing. And we have also the triple hitters or fourth hitters that are extremely rare with a lot of utility that were cast aside.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe Raglan for that. I had her up on the screen earlier,
Raglan is actually a champion to have the set that is extremely powerful because she avoids the skill locker herself by her base things. And she brings everything she brings. The only thing that I don't like on Raglan is the absence of a speed boosting actively. So
she can't have it all, KruYsen. She can't have it all.
I wouldn't put my first Mercurials on her, but she would be an option in a few months.
No, for sure.
But for example, do you another dwarf, Granite, the fusion that everybody thought it was a bad champion.
I already like this guy, man, a lot, man. I like this guy a lot already, but go on though. He's got the triple hitter.
He is a triple hitter that has ignored defense on the A1 and 100% buff removal on the A1 too. So he can not only strip the total guard, he can strip the total guard and everything else that is on the champion with a single A1. And he also adds so much with the other skills of his kit that he can become a meta. Because
I agree.
You start the match, you can remove the total guard with an A1, or you can reduce the stacks with an A2, or you can target someone without the total guard with the A3 and take it out of the game.
Yeah. And you get an extra hit too, so then you can go, or extra turn rather, if you kill an enemy. And dude, like, I mean, we're talking about a fusion that people already know about, but like, he's tanky AF, and this Demolisher blow, bro, it smacks this ability, man. Like, this smacks. I was using him like the other day, and I was like, whoa, man. Like, he was just putting up some massive numbers, you know? So, and that A1 too, to your point. Yeah.
Yeah, all the things. I'm using him on PvE a lot with the
He's got
Green
that
Forest.
passive, bro. Yeah.
Bro, he's amazing. He's amazing. He's not the top nuker of the game. He's not the top 20 nuker.
But his affinity too, you know?
But he's a nuker that is really interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah,
so
I mean, like,
I'm happy to do the fusion.
with all the force, are we getting a side question? I mentioned this in a few videos, but like, are we getting to the point where Magic isn't just the default popular meta anymore, Affinity? Because
no,
like,
Red Affinity is the most popular right now.
I was gonna say, because Force, man, which gives an opening for champions like Granite as a counter to Force, because with Theodosias and Predators and Embreezes, and I could go on, Galeases and Sarsages and Hilvies, and you know, like, there's a lot of Force right now.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Force is the new blue.
Indeed, man. All right, well, hey, thanks for giving us this rundown of Mercurial gear. I feel like everybody has a pretty good understanding now of, you know, who to put this gear on, how valuable this gear is. Anything that we didn't talk about that folks need to know as it pertains to Mercurial?
Well, use it. Don't wait for you to have the perfect set. Use it the way you are. I built my nukers with accuracy banner, accuracy chest, HP ring. I don't care. I built one nuker with it because it has a lot of utility.
Yep.
Use it. Choose the champions that has the most utility out of it, like the ones that we mentioned here, and you might see another one in my video or other videos of other content creators, because this set is the new best thing in the game. We don't have a lot of counters to it at the moment. We don't have specific skills to counter it in the moment, so take advantage. It's going to be 1 year maybe with that set as the top core of everything.
Does this emerge? One last question? Does this emerge different? I mean, you've already alluded to it, so I know the answer is yes. But does this give a lot of space for different blessings and relics combinations than we've been seeing again and again and again? You know, like I threw a Ward of the Fallen on Siegfried, right, just to make him even more annoying to deal with the total guard and the passive. I'm not saying that's the top combo. I'm just saying that, like, I feel like it gives us a little bit more flexibility on how we want to build any champion, for that matter.
And other champions that, for example, your Alas that you're showing there.
Yeah,
he's an amazing champion, but he's a little bit cast aside.
Yeah.
Because he only had base damage. He doesn't ignore anything.
Yep.
So shield on the A1, but he didn't ignore any meta buffs, block damage, unkillable, or stone skin. So he was a champion with a lot of damage, but he had the stone skin. He uses his damage. He doesn't kill. He dies.
Yep.
You know, so he's out of the meta because of that. But with Total Guard now, he's a champion that has a lot of damage. That's the premise. So you can protect him with Total Guard. He has a lot of utility on the kit if he has the time to use it.
True.
And now you're able to deliver the damage, not to die after that because you lost your stone skin or something like that.
Yep.
And you're still going to be able to put block damage, counterattack, restore.
Even the counterattack can help chip away at other total guards, right? So there's some synergy that can snowball as well. Yeah. What about
he's a meta champion?
This is a dumb question that I should know, but I'm never afraid to be dumb here on the channel. My viewers will tell you. Does Phantom Touch, for example, count as a total guard remover, or count as a hit? In other words, if I had Hegemon going with Phantom Touch, would he reduce 1 stack or 2 stacks?
The set says in the description that doesn't count damage of blessings, masteries, and the things like that. But I actually didn't test it.
Okay.
So if it is working or not, I didn't test with Hegemon or the champions with Phantom Touch, but I have the feeling that doesn't work because it's on the description of the set.
It seems like it probably doesn't,
should be addressed. I think Hegemon is a champion that is extremely useful for a period of time and extremely unuseful
anywhere
for another period of time. And with
oh, come on, man.
With Total Guard coming out, I think he's going to be totally cast aside.
Yeah, I worry for poor Hegemon too. Unless the Phantom Touch was like, unless somehow we can give that guy another hit to his kit. But anyway,
Yeah.
hey, we'll end it there. Thanks again for being so generous with your time. And it doesn't have to end there for you guys. Go check out the video that KruYsen did on his favorite champions. He mentions a lot of champions that he didn't mention in this video as well. So I guarantee you won't regret it there. That video will be linked in the description of this video. Thanks again, KruYsen. Thanks again to you guys for watching till the end. Much love. And as always, take care, guys.